You're welcome to that moment where we bring to you the Gorgeous Woman Show. Once again, Karibu Sana, it's CTN TV. And of course, most of you are watching us also on the social media platforms. Let another woman know that we are live on air. And of course, as always, we are bringing to you inspiring and empowering programs. And we were talking with my guest earlier, and she told me that if you don't uncover your scars, they don't heal fast. So actually, the journey that she's been through is a way of not trying to expose a dark side, but to help somebody else open up and heal faster, because we are all called to be healers based on where we've been through. And always my joy, Reverend Ruth Wamoyo, to host somebody. And my guest today is none other but Sheila Olo Nyapengo. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful name.
That's right.
Thank you. Karibu Sana, Sheila.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so kindly introduce yourself to us, where you come from, your family, just a little bit to know you about you.
My name is Sheila Olo Nyapengo.
Yeah.
Olo is my father. Nyapengo is my grandfather. So we use it, but all of us.
Yes.
I come from Kisumu County.
Yes.
I'm the 8th born. Out of 9 children.
8th?
Yes.
8th. How does it feel to grow up as the 8th born? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, you are counted number 8.
Very much. It's lovely.
It's lovely.
Yes.
Because everybody takes care of you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
All right. And your father and mother are together?
Yes, my father and mother are together. Yeah. Though my father died, and my mother is still there. She's alive, a retired teacher.
Retired teacher?
Yes.
Oh, great.
She's back there at home in the village. Yes.
So what do you do for a living?
I have my own branding and printing company that I operate. I also have a taxi that I also do. Yeah. But there's someone who manages it for me.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. And I see you have a book here. The book is Chronicles of the Chosen.
Yes.
Living Life by Design. Oh, wow. That is so great. So what's the inspiration behind this book?
Very interesting. This book, it's not only me, it's a combination of authors. Yes. And I was the only woman selected in Africa to participate. If you check the back.
Beautiful.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
so many women came together to tell their story just the way it is.
Yes.
To inspire women outside here, because you know when it comes to life, it cuts across. It doesn't matter where you come from, Europe, Asia, Africa, the story is the same.
It's true.
Yes.
Great. Wow, what an inspiration. And how are you selected out of all these women?
Very interesting. I attended some event for my pastor. My pastor was graduating, Dr. Carvord. Yeah. It's called BBS Black Belt Speakers. Yes. So when I attended the event, the host, let me say those guys who came to honor them and to give them all those stuff, one of them, I always follow him in Facebook and in Twitter. And when I saw him, I was very shocked. I said, like, this guy, I have to talk to him today. I just have to greet him today. Wow. So when I went and greeted him, we started talking. Then he told me, Sheila, I just like you. I want you to be one of my authors. I said, no, it's far-fetched because it's something that I've never done before. That was my first time, yes. I said, I'll think about it. Yeah. So we exchanged contacts and we started talking. Then I said, yes. So these guys, this book was published and printed in US, Michigan. So I said, yes. So he told me, just write about your story. So I started writing my story, sending emails, they correct, they edit, bring it back, then I write, and that's how it came. And then it was launched in Michigan also, in US. Wow. Which of course I didn't go because my visa was declined, but I was celebrated and they managed to bring the book, books, not even book, books for me, and I was honored here in Kenya.
How beautiful. Yes. Are you a mother? Are you married?
Yes, I'm a mother. I'm not married. I'm a mother of 2 boys, Bentley and Ainsley. Very lovely boys.
Beautiful names, Bentley and?
Ainsley.
Ainsley.
Yes.
How nice.
Yes.
So what happened? Are you married or divorced or?
I am divorced. Okay. You know, sometimes when I tell people I'm divorced, they are surprised because the moment I finished my 4th form, that is at the age of 17, almost 18 there, when I came to visit my sister here in Nairobi, she used to stay here in Nairobi. That's how things happened, and I found myself getting into being married before even going to college, which of course I was called, but I got married before that.
Wow,
Yes.
what a story. I believe we are in for some big, big story. And as you can see, it's already published. So you can always get yourself a book. But before you get yourself a book, we are going to take a break and then we get to listen to the story of Sheila, life after divorce, raising 2 kids as a single mom, doing business and all that, and how she's juggled through life. And you can be inspired and empowered to know that you are not alone in the journey you're walking through. See you after the break. Yeah, as always, thank you, Sheila, for coming. Gorgeous Woman Show is about empowering a woman and sharing our story, not to shame anybody or shame ourselves, but so that somebody else going through the same can probably learn something and move to the next level. So after 18, you came to Nairobi. As always, there is always a big sister willing to receive you. So how did this man come by?
This man, he was schooling together with my in-law, the one that I was staying with, my sister. My sister was married. He was a little bit older, way older than me. My sister was married, and his friend, his husband, her husband was a friend to this man. So this man used to come to her place because they were friends together in the campus. Though he was not married, but the other one was married. So that's how we came to know each other. We started talking and things started like that.
How nice.
Yes.
So at what point did you decide, now I'm ready for marriage? Or there was no time to decide?
I didn't decide. I just found myself that I'm living somewhere in Donholm in some SQ with him. Yes, that is how I found myself.
Did you love him?
I don't even know, but okay, with time I knew that I loved him. Yes, because he was my first boyfriend man in my life.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got 2 children together?
Yes, we got 2 children together. Yes.
How long were you married?
I was married for 9 years.
Okay.
Yes.
What kept you there?
He was a very good man, that one I can say. Very, very good man. I didn't see anything at all until a year 2. Everything, when things went haywire, that is when I discovered that he was a different person.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is this part of him that you discovered?
You know, when we were staying together, I never used to suspect him at all. Even just having his phone and scrolling, all those things that women do, I never used to do that. I trusted him fully, because I didn't expect that at one point he could plan something bad or something, towards our life. So at some point, I started suspecting a little bit, but I just ignored that there was nothing happening. So there was this one day that, how do I say, Shemeji, his brother's wife, called me and told me, do you know, he's called so-and-so, he's come here at home with a certain woman that he's married to that woman, that he's no longer married to you. I said, what are you saying? Is it true what you're telling me, or you're joking? She told me, yes, that is the truth. And as per now, he said he will not be back at home. And from that day, he went like he's going for a journey, because his work was, he's an engineer. So he used to go monitor roads. So I thought maybe the lady was joking that he will come back. So from that day, I never saw him. Yes.
He just walked away?
Yes, he walked away. It was like, it was something that was well planned. All his brothers, they knew that. The sisters, they knew that. It was only me that didn't know what was happening. So it was something that was well planned. He's been going home with this lady, introducing her bit by bit, but I didn't know. There was no one to tell me.
So at what point did he walk up? He just woke up and walked away?
He went like, as usual, like he's going to Voi, to monitor the roads, because he owns a construction company, and I knew that was his work, so I wasn't worried. So the way he went, he never came back, though he came back later when things were not when things were already up already. I was trying to fix my marriage, go to her mother, talk to his brothers and sisters. That's when he came. They came with some of his brothers to tell me what they wanted to tell me.
So what went through your mind when you heard that?
I was shocked. I didn't believe it was like a dream to me, because he never told me. He never told me anything. It's like he's been planning, he's been planning. You know?
And he was acting normal all this time? Very,
very normal. But at some point, there was this time, like, let's say a month or two. Some point, he came from his work, but he didn't want to talk as usual, because, I knew him. He was a very jovial man. Then all of a sudden he changed. I asked him what is the problem. Then he told me, you will know one day. You will know one day. He never told me. But okay, as things went by, I came to know, because at some point we had to talk. I had to face him and tell me what is happening. You have to tell me what is the reason. Yes.
So he told you there's another woman?
Yes, he told me.
Yeah.
After denying severally, he told me, yes, I'm married to so-and-so. I don't know. I didn't know the woman. I've never met the woman before. And I told him, you didn't even tell me. He told me, I don't need to tell you. You know, once a man, if you have money, you can get married to many women the way you want. I said, of course, you can get married, but at least you should have told me. He didn't want to tell me. And then I told him, now that you're married, so are we two or one? He said, no, I'm not married to two women. I only have one wife, which is the other lady.
All this time, had he ever gone to your parents to report that he is with you? Or had he paid dowry? He
had paid dowry. Okay. It's not just come we stay thing. Yes.
Okay.
Everybody knew that I was married. Yes, his place and my place.
So how did you start life afresh now that you knew he was out of your life? Was it difficult for you to settle down, or did he help you settle down?
Oh my, it was very difficult, because you see, when I was going all through this, so many things happened. I used to stay with some of his relatives in my house. There's some two ladies, almost my age mate. I was staying with them. One had a kid, the other one didn't have a kid. So this, what he did, he put them in the house to spy on me and to frustrate me so that I may move out of my matrimonial home. Of course, I have a home, which of course they didn't succeed. So they used to beat me. They used to, because I was jobless. I didn't tell you. Let me tell you. I used to work in his company, construction firm, as the administrator. So I woke up one morning, then went to the office, and then the engineer who was heading the department just wrote to me a letter that your services are no longer needed. It's been terminated. They didn't even give me a warning. I said, what is this? When I called him, he didn't pick my phone. He told me, get out the way you've been told. So I went back home, jobless, and I was very, very bitter. And bitterness really, really consumed me. So I stayed in the house. I didn't know anywhere to go, but I thank God for my mom, because...
And you were together with your sisters-in-law, and
yes, they were still
beating you up.
Yes, they were still living in my house, beating me up. And you see, because I was jobless, so the support that he used to give me like a woman to manage my own house, now he was giving the two ladies to buy food for me and my children, to manage everything, to pay the bills, everything, ignoring that I am still the woman of the house. So they used to cook their own food, they eat. I struggle, make my own food with my children. They beat me sometimes, they do funny things to me, but I just kept quiet. But at some point, I got fed up, and I started to fight also as a woman.
That must have been painful.
Yes, it was. It was.
And your children, how did they take it?
You know,
they were very young.
They were very young, but then very, very young. Yeah. They used to cry, and then sometimes they didn't understand, because you see, when he got married, he took everything away from me, everything that he bought for me, all my cars he took, and he gave that lady. So the lady used to drive, come to my home, park, get inside my home, plus the man. I was just seated there. They go up into the other bedrooms, they get out. So my kids used to wonder, why is she driving your car, Mommy? Why is she driving your car? I told them, no, I will get another one, just don't worry, because I didn't want to make them sad, because already they could sense something, but they couldn't just figure out what was happening, you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at what point did you get out of that house, or you stayed there?
I didn't get out of the house. Despite everything, I didn't get out of the house. I stayed there for a long time, stayed there, and I said I was not going to get out of this house because I have his children. Yeah. So I was not going to walk out of the house, despite everything that was happening around, all the beatings, all the abuses, because they used to abuse me verbally. They were telling me, you will be sold plus the house, because you see, all the titles, I trusted this man. So when he was buying property, most of the time, you know, he was just writing his name, not my name. Writing his name. So everything was in his name. I've never seen even the title. That was then. I didn't even see the title deeds of the house, the places, and the houses that we bought, others and others. He used to buy and then keep the title deeds in his mom's place back there in Ushago. because I trusted him, so I didn't bother at all.
Oh, yeah.
So they used to say, you'll be sold plus the house. Of course, he managed to sell other plots without my consent, which of course he did, and he did very well. And he was even planning by the time if I leave the house, he was either going to sell the house or bring that woman into that house. But thank God I managed to stay in the house and I didn't leave. And at the end of it, they are the ones, the two ladies, they left.
What kept you there?
You know, it's something that I planned I wanted to leave the house, but something kept on telling me, don't leave the house, just stay here. Where are you going? Because I didn't have any other place to go. Of course, I have my sisters, they are married, they have their husbands. I have my brothers, I have my mom back at home. But here, my kids are here.
They have no other home.
They have no other home. I had to be here for them. I wanted them to have that good life that they were used to. I wanted them to go to school. I didn't want to interfere with their life.
How old were your kids that time?
My kids, now how do I... the first one was in class 7, and the other one was in class 2 by then.
So they could understand.
Yes, they could understand.
Especially the class 7 one.
Yes,
yes. Oh, great. Wow. So at what point now did the sisters leave, and why did they leave?
Sometimes I say it's God, because you see, they were frustrating me, both of them. No single day would they, if they don't beat me, you know.
Like physically?
Yes, physically. And you see, the saddest part of it is that one of them, the one who had the kid, I stayed with her for like 9 years, you know. When I started staying, she came and joined me because she was the one who was helping me to bring up the baby, the firstborn. So I stayed with her for 9 good years. I took her like my own sister. I used to love her. I taught her so many things, you know. So many things. But when this thing happened, she decided that I'm now her enemy. She started fighting me now because she started becoming friends with the other lady.
Okay.
Yes. Wow. So I don't know what happened. They started fighting on their own.
Amen.
Yes, started fighting on their own. But you see, even though I was born again, but I didn't know that God can do something about that situation. Because you see, when such things happen to a person, always you tend to think that I'm the only person that is in that situation.
Yeah.
But you see, the Bible says that everything that happens, it happened before, it is happening and it will happen.
Yeah.
It keeps on repeating itself.
Yeah.
I read that verse and I said like, okay, maybe this thing, someone somewhere, happened. It happened some few days or months ago. Yeah. So I'm not alone. I used to pray a lot. I used to pray because I couldn't find myself. It's like part of you are dead.
I know.
Yes.
Because you're dealing with the divorce, you're dealing now with the mistreatment,
yes.
You're dealing with lack, and you're dealing with the mockery
yes.
by the other woman.
Yes.
Was she hostile to you in any way?
She wasn't hostile, but she used to come to my house, to my home. Me, I didn't know where she was staying. Come to my house, get inside with a man, holding hands in front of me, you know, walking and going out, you know. I used to keep quiet because I'm not a violent person. I don't know how to fight physically, you know. I don't know that. I've never done that before, but I did it when they used to fight me, the two ladies. I tried. Then from there, they started fighting themselves. I don't know what they were fighting over. So one was told to leave the house. So one remained in the house. So the one who remained in the house was the most... She was the one who loved fighting me a lot. So I said, I will not sit, I will not wait, I will not watch. So we started, at least twice a week we could fight physically. You know, physically, we threw things in the house, we fight.
Over nothing? Over nothing,
because she could walk and pass in front of me and say like, oh, you are useless, you've been left, you are as good as nothing, you have nothing, you know. So I could get annoyed as a human being. And then from there we could pick a fight and start fighting. Yes. So we fought. Then at some point, I told her one thing. I told her, she was called so-and-so. I told her, you know, why are you getting into something that you are not supposed to be in? Because that woman is using you to fight me. Yet this is not a fight between me and you. It's between me and her. Why are you getting in between us? That is what I told her. She didn't even take like a month. She left the house on her own. I woke up one morning and found out that she brought a taxi, took her things and left the house, just like that. Even the uncle didn't know that she's left the house.
Okay.
Yes.
So all this time, your ex-husband is still assisting the children, paying the school fees, or he abandoned you?
He is only paying the school fees.
Okay.
That's it. Yes.
But for you, he's not taking care of
No, 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 no. Not even the food stuff for the kids, not even the clothing. No, no, no.
So how is there anybody you tried to reach out to, or somebody who supported you through that time, that painful period, or you were just by yourself? You
know, something came into me when all these things were happening to me, because I was someone who people could look into and say like, oh, I wish I was in your shoes, you know, the kind of marriage that we used to have. It was very beautiful. I've never thought like something could come in between us, you know. So when this thing came into me, most of the time I used to hide myself. If I knew that you are so-and-so, even if I'm walking here in town and I saw you and you didn't see me, I would hide from people because of the shame that was on me. I didn't want to, even in the house, I was in the house, but most of the time locked up in my bedroom, to an extent whereby there was this time that I slept on my bed for like 1 week. I didn't know it's 1 week. Then my son came and told me, Mommy, you've been on this bed since Monday. I asked him what about today? He told me today is Monday. You've been sleeping here, waking up, going to the loo and coming back. You've not even eaten. I didn't even know that I have not eaten. So he started crying. I said, no, let me just get up today. Let me just get up today.
You were feeling like you have no strength to move on?
Yes, I have no strength to move on. I didn't have anyone to speak to. Though my mom came and my elder sister, she came and she told me that, now, why do you want to kill yourself? You know, if you die, people will forget about you in a week. So stand up, get out of this bed. I want you to shower and I'll take you out. I'll treat you today. I did that.
Wow.
Then, at some point, you know, when bitterness came into my life, because you see, when you are going through such situations, sometimes you talk. There's this you talk with your heart. You can talk to yourself. I used to talk to myself. At some point, I used to talk like I'm talking now. I could the sound. Then there was this time that I said, enough is enough. I have to do something about it, because I didn't see any other good thing in my life.
Wow. On that note of enough is enough, well, my director is telling me we need to take a break, so that at least we can swallow the story, because I think it's really getting intense. I will see you after the break as we continue with when she said enough is enough. When divorce happens and when there is crisis in the family, I believe the person who suffers most, especially if they are children, it's the children. And we are listening to the story of Sheila saying how the son is the one who realized that her situation was deteriorating, and she told Mom, you just have to rise up. Could you say that your son is a reason why you stood out, you came out of that bed? In spite of all your mother and all that, would you boldly say that your son was the eye-opener?
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow. Because when he talked to me, he was crying and told me, Mom, you've been on this bed for 1 week now. Can you get out of this bed?
So they used to come and greet you in the bed? And
yes. Go watch
never
cartoon.
To you?
It never.
Wow.
Go watch cartoon, come back, like that. Sleep, come back, still on the same place, not me, them.
Were you crying or you were sleeping?
I cry, wake up, I cry, I sleep, I sleep.
Were you showering?
No, I wasn't showering. Okay. No, not at all.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So your mother and your sister takes you out?
Yeah.
So does that open a new chapter, or there's more coming?
There's more coming, because okay, after that, immediately they left. That same very day that my sister left, I made sure that I cooked a very nice meal for my sons. And since they loved watching cartoon, I left, they were in the TV room watching cartoon, went behind my house, there's an SQ extension there. I said, now today I want to end my life because I can't take it anymore. So I went inside and locked the door, plus the rope. Then, okay, I meditated for a little bit, like can I do it? Should I do it?
I think now the depression had gone to a place of becoming suicidal.
Yes, suicidal.
Because definitely when you see somebody refusing to shower, they are sad, they refuse to wake up, their normal life is interrupted, definitely suicide is the last level of depression.
Yes, yes, okay. yes. And by that time you feel that courage is in you, because now you don't see any other thing. So I said I have to do it today. Then the same son again ran towards that behind the house and peeped through the window and said the house was still unfinished, though there were no mirrors put yet, but peeped through it and saw me standing on top of like a table. He asked me, Mommy, what do you want to do? Then he started shouting. He started shouting, and the other one, the younger one, came again. Now they were shouting, the two of them. And then there was this man passing behind, in front of my gate. He had the kids. Then he came. When he came, the kid showed him, come and see Mommy, what Mommy wants to do. My son, my elder son is very, very intelligent. I thank God for him, because would it have not been for him, I don't know what would have happened. God just used him. So when the man came, the door was locked inside, so he couldn't get inside the door. So the guys, I have never seen the guy. I don't even know him. Even up to date, I've never seen him again. So he started talking to me. He was a man. He was saying, why do you want to end your life because of a man like you, whom you don't even know will die before you? Why do you have to do that? Why? Why you do? He talked for a long time,
That must have been an angel.
Yes, for a long time. Yeah. So my son, the window, my son managed to go inside through the window. He put my son to pass through the window. Then he untied the rope. Although I was still standing, but I not removing, I mean...
The stool was still...
Yes, the stool was still intact.
And you were listening to them?
Yes, I was listening to him. And the younger one he kept on crying, and the sound, I still have it in my mind up to date, how he cried. I started crying, and I opened the door, and I said, God, today you'll have to help me. You will have to pick me up, because I will not do this again. I want my life back. That was the beginning of a new chapter in my life.
Did their father ever know that wanted to happen?
He didn't know. He didn't know, yes. But later on he had, because the boys told him when he came to see the boys.
What did he say?
Nothing. He said, I've been waiting for that. I have a big land. If she dies, I'll bury her.
He told your sons that?
Yes. And he told me, he texted me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened after that, Sheila?
After that, when I told God that, and I used to pray a lot. You know, the bitterness didn't go, I mean, the pain and bitterness didn't go the same day.
Yeah.
I kept on praying. People talked to me. When you talk to me today, it will be fine. But the next day, or maybe after a few hours, it's back to normal.
It's all back, yeah.
So I started, there's this prayer that I kept on telling God, God, you have to heal my heart. If you say that you heal broken hearted, you have to heal my heart. You have to heal my heart. You have to heal my heart. And for sure, God did that. Mm-hmm. He did that. You know why? How I realized that God healed my heart? When I saw the man, that is like after a year and so. When
he still allowed you to stay in the house?
Of course, he allowed me to stay in the house.
Yeah.
He didn't interfere with me.
Yeah.
But he was using the two girls, the two ladies, to frustrate me. Yeah. He didn't want to tell me to walk out of the house directly. Yeah. Yeah. But he used to tell people that I'm waiting for that fool to get out of the house so that I may sell that house and take my kids. They were planning to take my kids, sell the house, and do away with me. But I didn't walk out of the house. So he didn't manage. He was not telling me, I mean, he didn't tell me to walk out of the house physically, but the things that he was doing were very clear that he wanted me to walk out of the house.
And yes. He didn't mind you dead either?
No, he didn't. Wow. Yes. So when I continue praying and praying all the time, and for sure God healed my heart, because at some point when he's a kind of a person that when I used to see, I felt so angry, anger, and at some point I was even shaking because I didn't want to see him. But when God healed my heart, when I saw him, that is when I realized that God healed my heart. There was this peace that was in me, and I was the first person to greet him, and I was very calm. I didn't even see the things, though I knew the things that he had done to me, but I didn't even remember at that time that, you know, this person has done for you so many things that you are not supposed to talk to him. With him, I could greet him, but he wouldn't respond back. But there's this peace that came into my heart. There's this, the anger disappeared. Even if he texted me, abusing me, I would reply very, very politely. That is when I realized that God has really healed my heart. And I can tell anybody outside there, it's only God. You can go for counseling, yes. Yeah. It's good to go for counseling. But if God doesn't heal your heart,
it's true.
You will still be bitter.
It's true.
Yes.
Wow, great. So you continued. At what point did you ever leave the house, or you're still there?
I didn't leave the house. Yeah. After all this, I tried like a woman. You're supposed to try to make sure that you bring your family together. Yeah. I tried reaching out to his family, his friends, so that we can talk to maybe bring back my family, which of course I tried and it didn't work. So I stayed in the house and I didn't see him coming back. So it's me who filed for the divorce, not him.
You were already married legally?
Yes, I was already married legally by then.
Oh.
But you know, when it reached a point whereby I didn't know whether I'm married, I'm not married, because he was no longer treating me like his wife.
Yeah.
I was there, and I was getting more and more frustrated all the time.
And the challenge is that even the other woman he was bringing the other woman into your life.
Yes.
But the woman was never abusive.
He was never abusive though, but at some point he used to send me texts, which of course I didn't respond. I've never spoken to her to date.
Okay.
Never ever. Never responded back to the text that she used to send me, never. Yes.
And they're still together?
They're still together up to date, but you know, things sometimes happen anyway.
Yeah, I know. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow, so when you filed for divorce, who advised you to do that? Or why was it necessary for you?
No one advised me. Even my mom didn't know that I was filing for that. I reached a point whereby, you know, I prayed when I was praying to God. You know, this guy started selling things, and I didn't know that he's selling things. I didn't know totally and completely. So there was this night that I was praying to God, and it was very clear that God spoke to me.
Oh, yeah.
God spoke to me that I have to get myself back. I have to stand up because he is there with me. Like he says in Isaiah 41, that I will uphold you with my right hand, and I will never leave you nor forsake you.
Amen.
So I asked, how am I going to do this thing? Because after me filing for divorce, you know, so he said, if I file for divorce, I have to leave his house. So when I went to see my lawyer told me, now, do you have any property? I told her, yes, we have properties, not even property. We have so many properties. Do you have anything to prove that those properties you acquired when you were with this man? I said, no. She told me, I cannot help you. I told her, you will help me. She told me, you go back and think about it because I cannot help you. You have nothing about it. I came back and prayed. I said, God, you know my situation. I don't know anything to do with this. I mean, how I'm going to handle this property, because after filing for divorce, now he was very, very aggressive, though he didn't come like telling me that I wanted to move out of this house. But the things that he was doing kept on, you know, escalating all the time. So I said, how am I going to handle this? If I'm to file for property case, how am I going to handle this, God? He directed me. There's a neighbor that just where my home is. He told me to go and talk to that lady because, you see, plots are aligned like this. And if you want to know the plot number, they're always, you know. Go and talk to that lady. Go and tell her to give you the plot number. From there, go to so-and-so. She knows someone who works with the land. That person will assist you. My neighbor, she just came like 2 months ago. I never greeted her before. I didn't know her. I went and knocked and opened up. I told her, please, I want you to help me. She told me, how do I help you? Mimi nimekuja tu juzi. How can I help you? I told her, I want to know my plot number. You don't know your plot number, yet you are staying there? I told her, I don't know. Then she told me, I will talk to my husband. That one, I went to see her around 8 a.m. Come 12 midday, all the plot numbers, the husband sent to her. I had all the plot numbers here in Nairobi, because where we stay, we like 2, 3 plots, 50 by 100, 50 by 100, 3 of them. But I didn't know that 2 had been sold already. It's only this where the home is.
Wow.
He was still there. By that time, I didn't know. Then there's other properties that we acquired in Kisumu. I said, now, this one I don't know how to handle. The same God told me, call so-and-so. It was very clear, very, very clear, whereby you pray and then you, yes. I managed to gather all the certificates of the plots. Everything, all the logbooks of the cars that we owned.
Wow.
Although he already took others, but there were some photocopies, colored copies that I don't know how we did it, like 2. So I managed to accumulate all the certificates and took to my lawyer. Then my lawyer asked me, how did you manage to do this? I told him, God helped me. Wow. God helped me. You know, this thing really annoyed this man. He said there must be someone somewhere powerful, some man somewhere who is helping me. So he started looking for this man because he wanted to confront this man who has helped me
this
to
helpless person.
Yes, to get all these certificates so that I could go and file for the for the property case, which of course up to date he doesn't believe. He's still don't believe that it's God who helped me.
Yeah.
So that's how things happened, filed for the property case. And my home is my home now. As we speak, God helped me. Yes.
Wow, so it was awarded to you?
Yes. Yes.
And other properties?
A little bit of it.
And then the children, they were left in your custody?
Left in my custody, and he's paying school fees for them.
Glory be to God.
Yes.
Sometimes bad endings can be good.
Yes, you know, out of that, because by the time I was with him, you know, I was working in his construction firm, working under him. So when things happened, he took all my certificates because, you know, I got married to him when I was very young. He's the one who trained me in college, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, so when things went the way they were, he took my certificates and went with them. So I asked him, can you give me my certificates? Can you give me, it took a lot of time because at some point I told him, I'm going to report you. That's when he gave me back my certificates. So despite the fact that I was having my certificates, I was jobless because after working with him and he sacked me, I didn't have anything to do. Yeah. Now I was stuck in the house. So many, his cousins, friends and whatever, they were telling me, oh, you know, there's no way out. A woman who is jobless has nothing. We leave a man who has money because he has a construction firm, very well known. He's being awarded very, big roads here in Kenya. Yeah. He makes roads, very, very big roads. So they were saying there's no way out because you see, if you have money, you can get any other woman you want. Yeah. So don't tell us that she's going to leave you. She won't leave you. She will go nowhere because she will be frustrated. At the end of it, she will come back for your money, which, of course, you know, when I met him, I didn't see the money.
Of course, he didn't have the money either.
He didn't have the money by then. Yeah. So I told him, you know, when I met you, I didn't see the money. I saw you as a person, you know. So despite the fact that you have money, that is nothing to me. And that is what I took and how it was. So I said to myself, I have to do something about myself because now here I'm jobless. I have nothing to eat in the house. Although I have a nice house, but there's nothing inside it. Emptiness. At some point, I could not, when the ladies had left already, even waking up to clean my house was a problem. So like a month, cobwebs on the walls everywhere, except my bedroom and my house. So I used to operate from my bedroom to out. My bedroom. I didn't know that I had other rooms that I needed to clean, you know.
And the kids, wow, okay.
Yes, and the kids.
Was he allowed to visit the kids?
Yes, he was allowed to visit the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he visits them to this day?
Nowadays, he doesn't visit them. He sends the driver to come and pick them and take them wherever he is.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So when I recollected myself, I said I had to do something about my life. I was going to church before. I was going to PEFA. Before I left PEFA and joined Gloria's Life Center in Embakasi. From there, God started revealing to me so many things about myself. God told me that, look, you cannot depend on a fellow being, a human being who you can see. Because it was something that was being tabled to me very clearly. Because you see, I trusted this man so much. But if he could disappoint me, who else? I felt like...
And you were very young at the age of 18 to have been heartbroken.
No, I got married at 17, 18. Yeah. Then I stayed for 9 years with him. So by that time I was 20-something, almost heading to 30. Yeah. Yes, so I said I have to do something, but I didn't know how to start it. God told me, whatever you have, start from there. Just start from there. So I normally have this thing. I can draw like a design thing, clothes. I design for you. Yes, I draw, then measure you, then take to a tailor here in town, give you a very unique dress. It doesn't matter. Wow. You'll have that dress on your own.
Wow.
Yes. So I started doing that, getting clients, going from office to office with a tape measure. Some of them, you know, sometimes people could not believe me because I just work with a tape measure and a pen and a paper.
Yeah.
I measure you, then I tell you. I draw, I give you a sketch, then I tell you I want to give you a unique dress. Then I take to my fundi, I tell her, these are the measurements, you can make this dress. And when I take to you, I'll be able to get more clients. Of course, that one I do up to date, but at my own time.
A woman of innovation, Sheila. Wow, what a story, what an inspiration. As we come to almost the closure of this program, I want you to just stay there because she'll tell us where she is, and she's already started saying that immediately after she left and after all that, her giftings started manifesting. See you after the break. Welcome back, our viewer. Is Sheila my guest? What an awesome story. And so the gift of design now started manifesting. So is that what you used to put yourself back together economically?
Yes, I started from there.
Yeah.
Then at some point, I got a job with a branding and printing company, which of course I was employed as a salesperson in the beginning. But I managed. God helped me to meet my target more and more, and I came to. I mean, I liked my work so much, so I decided, I left my work and said that I can do this on my own. That is where I started my branding and printing company called didnt, which of course I do so many things to do with branding and printing. Yes. Then from there, that one gave birth to the taxi thing that I'm doing. Yeah. And I thank God for everything, because right now I have something. I have food on my table, shoes on my feet, and a roof.
Wow.
Yes.
And of course, you're happy with your children.
I'm happy with my children, and I thank God for everything that is done in my life.
What are the challenges you've had raising them as a single parent?
Raising them, I just want to thank God, because He gave me kids. He gave me children that I don't know whether to call them very understanding, because at some point they've never complained about me or something, or showed me anything, any behavior or character which is very weird. Yeah. Yes, they've been calm and very disciplined. Yeah, but I think, and I know because of the prayers, all the time in my house, every night we have to pray. Amen. And if it's my turn to pray, I pray. If it's the other boy's turn to pray, he prays. The other one, he prays. That's how I normally. Boys. Yes, both the boys. Okay. They have to do. If one reads the Bible, the other one prays. So that is something that we do every night. Amen. If they are going back to school, I have to pray for them. So it's very, very important as parents that we pray for our children. Yeah. We cover them, because we don't know what is happening outside there. The evil tongue, you know, when such things happen, people speak very, very bad things about your children. Like, for example, you know, I was left like after 9 years of marriage. Yeah. Then I've been out like for 8 years, 7 years, almost 8. Yeah. So my son was left in class 7. Right now, he did his Form 4. Oh. Yes, and he managed to score an A, which of course, yes, people didn't expect that, because people were saying that now that she's a single parent and she has boys, hey, they won't perform. Yeah. So they were always saying they were always very, very anxious to know how my kids are performing. There was
a negative, it was kind of a curiosity to know, but not in a positive way.
Yes, so I used to tell God that no, I cannot just be blamed for their performance. Although they are performing very, very good in classes, not less than top 5, all the 2 of them, because people are ready to say that my son has failed because I am a divorced lady, which of course didn't happen. I thank God for my boy who managed to score an A, and up to date we still pray. Praying is very important. What is he pursuing? He was civil engineering. Civil engineering. Yes.
He's going to be an engineer.
Yes.
Wow. Yes. Have they asked you questions about the father, and how have you managed? Because I've had many single parents, especially mothers, when they have sons, they ask questions, and sometimes they can be very challenging how to answer them. Maybe somebody that is going through the same, they can learn from you.
Mine, they've never asked me. The elder one just told me, Mom, I know, because I saw everything. He was in class 7, but he was able to say, I saw everything. But you see, another thing that I would love to tell parents outside there, it doesn't matter if it didn't work, the 2 of you. You know, we are both parents. Just let the kids go and see the father. Don't deny them that. Wow. Same to the mother. Don't deny them. I always give my kids, they can even go for a week to go and see him. Then the driver drops them back. I don't deny them having their father.
And what of in the case if the father influences them negatively against the mom? Maybe in your case, he's positive, he does not try to do that.
I always pray for that.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I know they are going there, I pray with them together before they leave the house.
Amen.
Because you see, even the other woman, I don't know what she can do to my kids. Yeah. So I always pray for them. And it's just, I trust God, you know. I tend to believe, my trust with God is way. Because if I can sit in a plane and just trust the pilot with my life up here, what about God that has given me life? Why can't I just trust Him?
Amen.
So with me, I always offer prayer and I don't doubt.
I love it, the way you're talking about God with excitement and just seeing how you surrender your sons to Him. And I believe every single parent or any parent, no matter how the situation is, your trust and your faith in God can anchor you in situations that are beyond even human comprehension. So what do you see, where do you see yourself maybe in the future? Apart from now, you've raised the boys, you've written books. What is your vision long term? As we speak right now, there's this initiative that started like 2 months ago. It's called Lift a Sister. It's something global. I look at it. I'm working under my pastor. But I'm the one who coordinates everything, you know, everything. It's something that is global. I just want to lift a sister somewhere. And we had our first meeting last week, Friday, where I launched my second book, Suddenly Single. Suddenly Single. Yes, fortunately or unfortunately, that book, when I launched it, all the copies that I had, I sold all the copies. Wow. Because but the title speaks for itself. The title speaks for itself. Suddenly Single. It has my stories, and it's a book that can be read by both people. I mean, you are married, you are not married, you are single, widows, because it's something that talks about you being suddenly single. What is the cause of you? Maybe it's a death of a spouse, rejection of a loved one, divorce, you know, and other things that you can do to prevent divorce in your life, because I'm not here to blame anybody. It takes two to tango. There are things that I did well, there are things that I didn't do well, you know. So I'm here to own it and say, like, if you see this, do this. If you don't see this, do this, you know. Yes, so it's a book that can help someone. It can help people who are married to bring out the beauty in your marriage, to love your spouse despite the flaws that you see in your spouse. So how is your relationship now with your ex-husband after the divorce? Did it deteriorate or it became better? How is it now? We talk about kids. That's it. You talk? Yes, we talk. You talk. We talk about kids. Is the respect back? Like the way he no longer speaks down on you? He no longer speaks down on me. He respects me. He even called me pastor. Oh, my goodness. How beautiful. When did that transition happen? You know, it happened, you know, when God was working on me, because I say it's God who worked on me, not myself, not my own strength, you know. He gave me divine connection, like these guys that helped me to be one of the co-authors here. He connected me to the outside world. I've never traveled before, even though we had money, but I've never traveled before. So since that time, I managed to travel to Europe, to America, and I minister to churches. That's why my second book, Suddenly Single, I've written it into 3 languages, English, French, and Finnish, so that when I go to minister to those places, I can sell them. Who did the translation for you? I have friends. I have a friend in Finland and in France. Glory to God. So after he saw this? After he saw this, so he started calling me traveling pastor, through text. I say like, yes. And it was no longer the bitter, you know, cynical way, but it was, is it on a positive note, or he was trying to? He's saying he's happy for me, but you see, okay, so with him, you know, he's seeing me with him. Up to now, I'm still single. I'm not married. So with him, he's still having that hope. But you see, I won't lie to myself, because at some point, you know, things change. Once you've lost trust in a person, you know, it can never be the same, and nothing can be back. Has he ever tried to reach to you for a relationship again? Okay, he has tried in the other way, like, now how do I say it? Through my mom. Oh. Yes, through my mom, but you see. After the divorce? After the divorce. After the divorce, which is very, very complicated, you know. It's not easy, because right now, as we speak, my heart is somewhere else. So why would he reach out? What do you think is at the back of his mind? Why would he reach out to you after you're divorced? I don't know. I hear they say, I don't know. I don't have the truth about that. But I hear they say that what he thought, the grass was green on the other side, it's not that. So he's saying that he wants to come back to his wife. So something like that. Oh. Yeah. Would you give him a chance? No, I won't give him. Oh, where is your heart? You said your heart is somewhere else. Are there wedding bells coming? I've not thought about that, but I believe I am trusting God for that. Amen. And your heart is in ministry right now? My heart is in ministry of sister. Lift a sister. Oh, I forgot to say something. You know, so many things. God revealed to me so many things when I was going through this process. I started working with some widows back at home where my mom is. It's a long story how I came with that. Up to date, I support them myself.
So many people think that maybe I'm getting money outside. You don't need to have money to help someone. It's not about money.
You just have to have a big heart.
You just have to have a big heart. And the little thing that you have in your hand, just bless someone with that. Show some love. Amen. I believe strongly. Personally, I believe that love is the most important thing. If I love someone, because the Bible says, look, God is saying that if you cannot love your neighbor that you see, what about me that you don't see?
That's true. And
if I don't love that neighbor, I don't love God. So this thing really, really touched my heart.
Amen.
I believe in loving someone. It doesn't matter. Because even, you know, the two ladies who used to fight me before, as we speak, the two ladies just came back into my house, knelt down, cried, and told me that the devil used them. I said, yes, the devil.
Yes, he did. At least they disowned the devil.
Yes. So all these people used to mock me, reject me, do all sorts of things.
But that took some time.
It took some time. It was a process.
Were you able to forgive them?
I forgave them absolutely, and I made sure that they came to my house, cooked for them. We laughed, and right now they really respect me to an extent. Like sometimes I told them, you don't need to go that much, please. I'm still the same person. Nothing has changed. Amen. Although I've added some more years, but I'm still the same person.
Amen.
Yes.
Wow, our viewer, what a happy ending. And when I'm looking at Sheila, I can see a heart that is radiating with the glory, the love of Christ in her. And no matter what your condition, I think prayer is the greatest lesson that we've learned from her, and hope in God. In spite of all she faced, she had a heart to fight for her children on her knees. Fight for your life on your knees. Sometimes using other means is not as helpful as fighting on your knees first. And it's always a joy to host a guest like Sheila. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Radiating with Hope. And of course, if you want her book, you can write to us or call. There's Chronicles of the Chosen, and then there's also Suddenly Single. My goodness, I would love you to have that one. That should be an inspiring story. And from me and the CTN family is God bless you. See you next time.